Hello, guys. Thank you for joining me today for this little chat about yoga, its meaning, the origins, and the philosophy behind it. Why I promote yoga, how I came to yoga, and what benefits yoga can have, and why I like to share my yoga path and encourage other people to start their yoga journey as well. So, what I like to point out right at the beginning, this I'm sharing from my point of view. Yeah, maybe you have other experiences. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. I'm only sharing my personal experiences. What can also be very intimidating when you would like to start a yoga journey is that what you see on social media, YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok, or wherever, is heavy asana focused. So it's very focused on the physical exercise. That is only one part of yoga, yeah. Yoga is a philosophy, so it's a lifestyle. It's a way of living, yeah. And this doesn't only include the physical exercise. So what you see on the gram is often all these fancy poses, very intimidating, super flexible people. And it's not just all about that. Like I said, it's a philosophy, it's a way of living, and there is so much more to it. So let's get right into it. Yoga is a philosophy which originated around 5,000 years in India, and it is one of the 6 philosophies under the umbrella of Hinduism. Yeah, so not all Hindus are yogis. The main goal of yoga is to walk down the path to enlightenment. Yeah, to become enlightened, like in Buddhism, like Buddha got enlightened under a tree. In yoga, we also want to walk the path of enlightenment. So the word yoga comes from the word yug. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it properly, but this word means union. So what are we joining together? We are joining together our own unique soul with the universal soul, yeah, the awareness. So that we become aware that we are all the same and there is one universal consciousness, yeah. And how do we do that? We first need to find our awareness through meditation, self-study. We slowly become aware of our consciousness, and then we learn to differentiate between our universal consciousness and our individual consciousness, yeah, our ego. And this will empower us to make good choices, yeah, and to be kind and loving, creating this space in between your awareness, yeah, your consciousness, and your ego, yeah, your emotions, your reactions. Because when we are very ego driven, we all know when ego runs wild, we are craving things that are maybe not healthy for us. Yeah, so if we always follow our ego, we can cause some problems. So that's why we want to create some space in between our consciousness and the ego. So in yoga, we want to remove this heavy bliss to ignorance. Yeah, our ego is so ignorant. When we want something, we can be really stubborn. Yeah, even though we know this is not good for us, or maybe we just feel fulfilled for a few hours, like when we buy ourselves a new item. We know this happiness won't last forever, yeah? This will change, like nothing external will ever make you happy. Yeah. So in yoga, we know that you need to find inner happiness to feel fulfilled, grateful, happy, consistently. And that's why we have these practices to always tap into this state, remind ourselves of what is really important, that true happiness lies in yourself, and you already have everything you need inside of yourself. And it's just about the way of tapping into that state. And there are lots of different ways, yeah. Patanjali developed the yoga we kind of know of now, the traditional yoga, around 5,000 years ago. So he wrote the book The Eight Limbs of Yoga. Yeah, so there are 8 limbs, kind of 8 section of yoga that we can follow to have a fulfilled, happy life. Yeah, so he kind of takes this viewpoint that everybody wants to be happy and content. Yeah, this is the goal. If you don't agree with that, there's no point following the 8 limbs. The first limb are the yamas. Yamas are restraints, so they're kind of like guidelines to live a right life, yeah, an ethical right life that will tell us what is right and what is wrong. The 5 yamas are ahimsa, which is non-harming, non-violence, yeah. So we're always looking for peace, yeah. We don't want to support war or violence anyway. This also takes killing animals into account, yeah. So most yogis are vegetarian if they follow this strict 8-limb path. Second yama is satya, so truthfulness. Always be truthful, loyal, transparent, and yeah. This is kind of self-explanatory, but it's always best to speak your truth. Then the third yama is asteya, non-stealing. It means, yeah, of course, we should not steal and be grateful for what we have. Of course, this can be difficult in some parts of the world where the gap is really big. But yeah, being grateful for what you have is really important. Like, we always think that the grass is greener on the other side, that other people have more, and we're all craving for more. But so important to stop and pause and acknowledge what you have, where you're at in life, and how lucky you are with the things you own. Yeah, appreciating this, like for example, writing gratitude lists in the morning can really shift your focus to the positive. Yeah, being grateful for simple things like your tea, your food, the apartment you live in, whatever it is just amazing. Okay, so the fourth limb is brahmacharya, which is celibacy. I know not everybody probably agrees with this. Maybe it's a bit outdated, but yeah, I mean, you don't need to withdraw from sex totally. But I mean, this aspect can teach you self-control, yeah, which can be really beneficial. But you could also see it in another way of treating sex or connection, a close connection with another person, as sacred, yeah, and not as casual. And the fifth limb is aparigrara. Aparigrara. I'm not sure how to pronounce it probably. Which is freedom from greed and desire. Yeah, similar to the third limb, asteya, like being grateful for what you have. Yeah, really being aware of what you egoistic self wants and what you really need. The second limb of yoga are your niyamas, your observances. So the first one is called saucha, which is purity and cleanliness. Yeah, so purifying your body, your mind, body, soul regularly is seen as also typically yogi. Yeah, so they want to be physically clean, purify the mind, body, and soul. And there are lots of different purification rituals, like, for example, they have their neti pots, or they do the tongue scraping, or enemas, lots of things, but you can choose. And they're also very convinced of fasting, yeah. Not eating for a while can also be very beneficial for your gut and your health. So it is also a type of purification. The second niyama observation is santosa, which means contentment, yeah. Acceptance and appreciation for where we are in life, yeah. Similar to Ashteya. We always think the grass is greener on the other side, but be happy for where you're at in life. Your life is a path, yeah, and we need to be present and enjoy the moment. Because if we're always rushing to a goal, we're never present in the here and now, and we will never be fulfilled, like if we're not enjoying the present, yeah. So the third niyama is tapas, which is burning spiritual passion. So yeah, this is kind of meant in a way of self-discipline and being a warrior, like being so into your practice and like following the practice and being passionate about it. And then once you follow the practice, the path and like the benefits, they will unfold, yeah, and this will be different for everyone. There will be different things involving. There will be different things showing up. I cannot tell you what will show up, but there will be shifts in your mind, or maybe your soul, your body. Fourth niyama is svadhyaya, which is self-study. Very important part of yoga. Like, self-study is, you can do it in lots of ways. Yeah, you could go to therapy. You can read spiritual text. You can look into the mirror, do mirror work. It's just very important to really reflect on what it means to be human, like to see the good and the bad, the ugliness, what we are capable of, and studying yourself, which will come naturally once you start a yoga practice, because it is so much about the mind, body, soul connection, and you will develop a sense of understanding for yourself, for the people around you, and you will observe them in a different way, see them maybe in a more kind and loving way. And I'm not saying that you can only do this through yoga. No, you can also study people through a psychology course, doing a psychology course or another exercise, yeah. This is just one way of doing self-study. The fifth niyama is Ishvara Pranidhana. Very hard to pronounce as well. So, which is surrender to the absolute. Okay, what does this mean? It kind of just means that welcome everything your life brings your way, yeah? It might be difficult, it might be easy, it might be hard, but see everything as an opportunity to learn, to grow. I know this isn't easy for most people, and often we don't understand when we're in it and when we're in a super difficult, hard moment of our life, and we don't want to be in that moment. But often when we look back, maybe a few months or years later, we have learned so much through the experience. And sometimes life isn't fair. Like some people have it much easier than others. And there isn't really a reason for it. Yeah. We just have to surrender and go with it, which can be very difficult sometimes. But yeah, in yoga we want to learn to trust the flow of life, yeah, always changing. There are ups and downs, and which is natural. We never feel the same. Life isn't always the same. It's like a river. It turns, it flows, it bends. And there are always obstacles on the way. So these were the first two limbs of Patanjali. I don't know what I did here, but I just waved my hand and there were balloons coming out of there. How did this work? Oh my god, and I just did a meditation about a balloon yesterday. That's magic. How did I do this? That's so funny. Okay, so we talked about the first two limbs of yoga. Let's talk about the third limb, which is asana. Yeah, your physical practice, your yoga practice on the mat, all the postures that you know, that you can flow through, and link the breath and the alignment to each other. Yeah, so asana was originally practiced to prepare the body to sit in meditation, yeah, because for most people it is very hard to sit still with your thoughts, which we do in meditation. Just all of a sudden to sit still and like meditate. I know for me this is also very difficult sometimes, so I find it easier to do the asana practice first and then sit still, because it's kind of like a moving meditation already. If you move the body and you are in tune with the breath, it's like a good preparation to sit and meditate afterwards. The fourth limb of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras is Pranayama. Yeah, so Pranayama is the breathing. They are breathing exercise. You probably also know them. So there's lots of breath work in a yoga practice as well, but you can also just practice pranayama. There are different breathing techniques, for example, ujjayi breathing, which we use in vinyasa yoga. There's breath of fire, which is a very energizing breath where you push out the exhale. Then there's nadi shodhana, alternate nostril breathing, which really calms the mind, the body. So there are different breathing techniques that can help you in different circumstances of your life, yeah, to energize you or to calm you. And it's also very cleansing, yeah, for the mind. So breathing techniques are always great when you suffer with stress or anxiety. they can be helpful. But they are, of course, and they are also a preparation for your meditation. Yeah, you could do pranayama before your meditation, and maybe it feels easier to sit. The fifth limb is Pratyahara, withdrawing of the senses. Yeah, so focusing inwards. We often say that at the beginning of a yoga class, like to bring the awareness inwards. After a long day, if you practice asana in the evening, like to finally bring the attention inwards to you, not have all the distraction of the day around you, feels so good, feels like a break. If it is calm. Sometimes we check inwards and it's super busy, like maybe your mind is racing, and this depends on the day and your state of mind, but it's really good to check in regularly how you're feeling, like checking the interior world of yourself, how you're doing, how you're feeling, and really planning time for yourself, like checking in regularly with yourself, how you feel, because you can't pour from an empty cup. Like, you need to take care of yourself as well. And this could be, you could do this in different ways. You could journal, you can make yourself a tea, you can take a bath, you can, whatever you like to do to feel good, and take time to just for yourself without big distractions. Yeah, whatever it is, it's so important to have this self-love. Yeah, take time to love yourself, to care for yourself so you can care for others. The sixth limb is Dharana, which means concentration. I mean, if you meditate every day, or you have a asana practice each week, this is already a dedication. Yeah, you're concentrating, you're focused on something. And in yoga, you need to focus on something, and discipline will, maybe it's not super fun to be disciplined at the beginning, but you will achieve happiness at some point if you are consistent. So concentrating on something is really good, like for us, to be able to create and follow the goals and achieve something. And sometimes it's super hard to concentrate. Sometimes our mind is racing, and then maybe we need to move the body to be able to concentrate again. Well, sometimes it's the other way around, like our body is super tired, doesn't want to move, and our mind needs just some input. Yeah, so we need to be stimulated, and yeah, this is a good time to focus on something, on a new project or whatever it is. And then the seventh limb is meditation. We all know meditation, to sit still with your thoughts, focusing on the breath, which helps us to stay concentrated. Yeah, focusing on the in and exhale of the breath will keep us from wandering away with our thoughts. Yeah, there are so many different styles of meditation. Yeah, you can choose one that you like, and you will feel the benefits of meditation quite quickly by creating this space in between your thoughts and then your emotions, reactions. You can kind of rewire your brain and the way you act. Yeah, maybe you become less impulsive. Yeah, so, but there are different ways in which meditation can help you, and it's not about pushing any emotions away. You can also use meditation to to really feel everything you need to feel. It's more about understanding yourself, what you need in which part of your life, what day of the week, what do you need? And then being able to sit with yourself in silence is such a good skill, because if you can sit with yourself, you can sit with your thoughts. You are not relying on lots of distraction all of the time. You're not relying on other people constantly. You're not distracting yourself. So lots of benefits to meditation. And of course, you're probably less stressed when you're taking meditation breaks. And then the final limb of yoga, the eighth limb, is Samadhi, enlightenment. Yeah, like mentioned before, this state of enlightenment where you're not dependent on other people, external things to feel happy, that you have achieved when you feel content within yourself, then you become enlightened. I don't know how many people on this planet are really enlightened, but yet a nice goal to become a bit more enlightened each day. I just like to read you a quote from my yoga teacher manual about the goal of yoga. The yogic path is the path from wrong identification of the self as ego to the correct identification with one's true nature as the consciousness and intelligence of all that is. And just a bit of personal information about me, like how did I come to yoga? I think I was around 15 or 16, and I was always interested in athletic sports, and I liked stretching, and I went into a vacation with my family, and there was a yoga teacher as well, so I started practicing yoga with her at the pool every morning, and she was doing Ashtanga yoga. So Ashtanga is series of asanas that are repeated each time. Like it's very rigid. So I started doing yoga with her at the pool, and I really liked it. And then after the holiday, I watched YouTube videos. I think from Tara Stiles. Yeah, she was very prominent then. So I did a bit of yoga at home. I did a course in the hometown I grew up, and all because I just really liked the physical feeling, like the stretching felt natural to me, and so I continued doing a bit of yoga here and there. And then only when I moved abroad to Ireland and I started studying, I got more into it and got a regular practice and really started to learn the benefits like of a disciplined practice, going to the studio 3 or 4 times a week and feeling a difference in the mind, body and soul, which really helped me because I also suffered from anxiety, and I was very anxious and negative at that time. So yoga really helped me to, first of all, with my breathing, it helped me a lot to overcome like panic attacks, anxiety, because yoga is focused on the breath, yeah. Pranayama as well, all your breathing techniques. So this is really good if you have problems with breathing sometimes. This can help you. it also helped me with understanding my path in life, that I don't need to have it all figured out at the age of 20, when I was very anxious and negative and thought I need to know what I'm doing. So this really helped me spiritually, helped my soul, helped to boost my confidence, and it also made me physically stronger and more active. And this is all connected: mind, body, soul. So once I felt good in my body, I also felt good in my mind and in my soul. And of course, this always changes. Sometimes you don't feel good in your mind, but in your body, and then it changes again. But I kind of learned this connection, this mind, body, soul connection, that everything is linked, which is so important to me. Yeah, everything is a mirror. Your sickness is a mirror of your mental state. It's not just about your physical health. Yeah, everything is, and everything is interlinked. And like once you become aware of how your diet influences your physical exercise, how your coffee drinking influences your day, how whatever your social media consumption influences your mental state, you're aware, you become aware, and then you become aware of more things, and you find out what is good for you and what is bad, and which people are good for you, which people you should surround yourself more, which people are maybe not the best for you. You kind of develop new antennas for your benefits. And maybe this sounds very egoistic at the start, and this can be true because you're kind of doing your own thing, because you're shifting awareness, and you will maybe radiate. You will be maybe drawn to people that are also aware, that are on the same level of consciousness than you are, not leaving anybody behind, but maybe spending more time with different kinds of people. And you can get to that state also through other things, not just yoga. So this is how yoga helped me. So I had my disciplined practice for a few years, and then I was like, okay, I want to take a next step and do a yoga teacher training to get to know more, to learn more about the philosophy, and just get better at my physical practice, and maybe to share a yoga lesson afterwards. But this wasn't really my goal to teach other people. I just wanted to do like a very intensive course, like to get better. So I did that, and I loved it, and I learned so much. I did it in Spain, and I fell even more in love with yoga, and to this day it changed my practice. After this 1 month intensive training, it's like day and night. My practice changed so much. I am so much more aware of everything around the world around me, of the power that lies within each of us. So just a few more benefits of yoga. So yoga can strengthen your self-love. You become more compassionate to yourself and others. You will understand yourself better. You will feel more loving towards others. You will be able to understand your emotions better, your mood swings. you probably find a way to better deal with your mood swings. It can help you with your anxiety. It can help you with depression, or if you have very low moods. Depression, yeah, very important as well, because I'm not a therapist, but I am convinced that physical therapy is equally important than speaking therapy, because sometimes when we spend all the time in our head with depression and we have very negative mindset, we need to get out of the mind and also shake it off, be in the body and be in a flow state where we're not actively thinking. Yeah, and this will get us out of this negative headspace for a while, and to feel like a flow state, which you can feel through lots of different exercise, not just yoga. You can go running, whatever it is. This can help you so much. It can help, yoga can help you with reducing stress. Because in your typical yoga class, you have this shavasana, you find a relaxation at the end, which is so unique to have like 5 or 10 minutes of laying on the floor, resting. Like, would you ever do this at home, just lay on the floor for 10 minutes and do nothing? Probably not. So this is like amazing. We need to pay for someone to tell us to lay on the floor and take a rest. I mean, that's the world we live in. More benefits of yoga. It will help your posture, yeah, because yoga is alignment based. It will improve your posture. The way you sit on a chair, the way you sit on the floor, the way you walk, you become aware. The way you hold your head, the way you open your chest. Yeah, so important, because we sit so much at the desk in front of our laptop nowadays. So correct your posture. Amazing. Also makes you feel better. Yeah. Improve circulation. It will help you with self-trust, courage. You feel more courageous. Like, if you feel good in your body, you will also feel more courageous. And very important here, yoga is also for everyone, yeah, for every race, for every religion, for every sexual orientation. This is so important. Like, everybody can do yoga. Oh, and yet the diet, like yoga can make you change your diet. Like, once you feel healthy in your body, you feel more likely to eat healthy food. Like it's a ripple effect. If you feel good, you probably craving nicer food, and then you feel better automatically, so you want to exercise more. It's always a mirror. And then the probably most important for me personally is this spiritual growth, like understanding life, understanding the good, the bad, yin and yang. There is no light without dark, and some things need to happen. Yoga just gave me a sense of trust, a spiritual guidance, a sense of belonging, yeah. And I am personally not a strict yogi, but I mean, you can take aspects of this philosophy that you like and bring them into your everyday. Maybe there are also aspects of Buddhism that you like, or Taoism. You don't have to be so strict with it, yeah. Nobody's like, oh, you're not a vegetarian, you're not allowed to practice yoga in the Western world. Oh, you're not chanting every day, you're not allowed to practice yoga. No. Take whatever aspects you like of yoga and then do what you like with it. Like maybe you want to take one posture out of the whole yoga sequence and do this pose. Put on some nice music and just enjoy the pose. Maybe you only like to meditate. Maybe you like to do chanting, yeah, which is singing. It's also a way of doing yoga. There's so many different ways of yoga, and you can choose your favorite yoga, yeah. There's karma yoga, there is bhakti yoga, kind of a devotional yoga. There's tantra yoga. So this is all about the female and male energy, and this is not just sexual energy. It is about the divine, feminine, and masculine. So the Shiva and Shakti energy. The most known yoga is Hatha yoga. So where you have your typical postures like your warrior one, warrior two, Dandasana or triangle, yeah, and it's very alignment based, yeah, the teaching. And you hold the postures for longer and you focus on the breath so you can stay in the pose for long, and this will kind of fix your posture. But it has also other benefits like improving your digestion, your flexibility, your strength, yeah, you're also toning muscles. What else is there? Yeah, then you have Kundalini yoga, which can be very dynamic, and they have lots of kriyas and like kind of mantras they're chanting, and it's also a lot about the breath. Then we have Vinyasa yoga, which is like a modern version of yoga, which I like to teach because it's very flowy and creative. So it means that each movement is linked to the next one. Yeah, it's like a flow, and there are different. Like Vinyasa class can be so different. Like I like to mix in Pranayama as well, breathing technique, then a bit of tapping or shaking it off. I think it's a really good adaptation to the Western society, yeah. And then there are also a few more passive practice, like yin yoga is more receptive, where we hold poses for longer. We stay closer to the ground, and it's really good to release the fascia. So this can be really, really good in between if you do it once a week or once a month to get rid of any stiffness. Yeah, really nice also for women to practice while they're on their bleed or before or after when you don't have that much energy. And we have restorative yoga, which is also amazing. Like restorative yoga is practiced with a lot of cushions, bolsters, and most of the time it's only a few poses, like for example 5 poses within an hour, and you hold the pose for 5 or 10 minutes, and we put on nice music, and it's very regenerative. So you can practice an hour of your restorative yoga and feel like maybe you had a few hours of sleep. Like it can be so healing. And it can be also healing for chronic pain, like because this is not such an active yoga, this can be really good for you if you have chronic pain. Yeah, and then there's Iyengar yoga. There are so many styles of yoga you can choose from. Acro yoga as well, yeah, you know, acro yoga, where you're floating on somebody's feet. Yeah, endless possibilities. The vinyasa yoga I teach, I like to link to the phases of the moon, yeah. So I'm very heavily influenced by the cycles of the moon because I also believe in astrology, yeah. This is also a belief system that you can choose to believe in or not, yeah. It doesn't do you any harm. I feel that it gives me some guidance and makes me a kinder, more understanding person. I really like the idea of evolutionary astrology because they have the idea that we come to this planet at a specific time and date, at a specific location, and because of these given dates, we can build a natal chart, in which you can see what planets are where and in what sign they are at the time you were born. So you can kind of write your birth chart, and this birth chart is for your whole life. You won't be able to understand the full birth chart because you are developing with your birth chart throughout your life, and the planets and the sign can guide you. You have the three big sign: your sun sign, which represents your ego. Then you have the moon sign, which represents your internal world, your inner world, your feeling, emotions. And then you have your ascendant, so the way other people observe you or see you. These are the three big signs. And then you have the other planets, and depending what sign they are in, they can tell you a lot about your potential, about the way you act. There are also the houses, which can tell you even more about your life. What's your communication way? What's your love language? How are your family dynamics? How's your relationship with your mother, your father? So many details you can find in your natal chart. And in evolutionary astrology, there's the belief that there is no good or bad sign. We come to this planet to live to our highest potential, and our birth chart wants to kind of guide us to our highest potential. We need to fulfill the goal why we came to this planet. There's a karmic lesson we should fulfill to be happy. Sometimes there are things we need to do, like when we feel stuck in a specific circumstance, we need to move on because we know there is something else waiting for us. And the idea of the birth chart is kind of that you should fulfill your purpose, otherwise you get reborn if you have learned your karmic lesson, and then you need to try again. But this is really not to punish anybody, it's more to encourage you to live to your highest standards, to make the most out of your life and to live to your fullest potential. Like, I find it really empowering, but maybe you think it's all woohoo. I like to influence my vinyasa classes by the moon and the phases the moon is in, when it's full moon, when it is a full moon and a new moon. And I also like to link my classes to chakras. There are 7 chakras. If you don't know them, I can name them for you. So there's Muladhara, your root chakra, which you can find at the base of the spine. This is where your security sits. These are also, chakras are energy centers, So in Chinese medicine, they believe they're energy centers. And there's energy, prana, flowing through your body. And you can activate more energy if you do specific exercises for this chakra. So Muladhara, your root chakra. Then above that there's your sacral chakra, Svadhyasthana. Then there's Manipura, your solar plexus chakra. Then there's Anahata, your heart chakra. There's Vishuddha chakra, your throat chakra. Then you have Ajna chakra, your third eye chakra. And then there's Sahasrara chakra, your crown chakra. And again, this is a You can believe in this or not, but I like to work with these in my yoga classes, like with the zodiac sign. They are also always linked to a chakra, so you can kind of build a class around a theme. Like if, for example, one sign is linked to your heart chakra, I like to do lots of practicing with opening your heart. So this means also lots of back bending, and you can use mantras like I am loving, my heart is open. You can find a theme around it, and I really like that. Yeah. And yeah, so the most important thing about yoga is really that if you practice the physical limb of yoga, to take what you learn on the mat into your day, yeah, into your life, to take the teaching out into the world and apply them. Yeah, I thank you for listening to me, and I see you soon for another video. Have a lovely day wherever you are. Thank you for joining me. Bye.